I've chosen this trigger. Betrayed by a best friend. Longtime friend steals his idea, partner, or position. I used to believe loyalty was unbreakable when it was forged in childhood. When you grow up with someone, share lunches, secrets, dreams, you think they're a part of your world in a way no one else could be. That was me and Daniel. We met when we were 9 years old. We played ball in the cracked parking lot behind the old church, rode our bikes through summer nights until the streetlights came on. We went through high school side by side, scrapped together our first paychecks in the same construction crew, drank cheap beer at the lake while plotting how we'd start a company together. I knew everything about him, and he knew everything about me. So when I came up with the idea for a software platform that could change the game for small businesses, streamline their accounts, inventory, and marketing into one accessible tool, sharing it with him felt natural. He was my confidant. We brainstormed for months, carving out business plans at my kitchen table while his laughter filled the room. I trusted him so completely I didn't even think twice about handing him the documents to look over while I focused on refining the prototype. That's why the betrayal cut so deep. The inciting incident happened like a knife twisting in slow motion. I sat at my desk one rainy Monday, sipping bitter coffee, when an industry newsletter popped into my inbox. It featured a gleaming announcement from CoreLink, a newly funded startup offering a product identical to mine in every key way, right down to the phrases Daniel and I had coined together during our late-night sessions. The CEO photo made me drop the mug onto the carpet. Daniel, grinning like a wolf, shaking hands with investors, enjoying the glow of cameras. My phone buzzed with congratulatory messages from mutual friends who assumed we were in it together. My calls to Daniel went unanswered. Text after text was left unread. I felt something in my chest crack. Without warning, the person I had built my future around had stripped me of my dream and put his name on it. In the days that followed, disbelief gave way to humiliation. Mutual acquaintances started avoiding me at the coffee shop. I overheard whispers that I wasn't capable of pulling it off, that Daniel had always been the real brains behind the idea. Rumors spread faster than truth. At night, I lay awake listening to the rain hit the roof, thinking about every moment I'd played the loyal friend, every time I'd defended him when others mocked, every plan we'd sketched together. My appetite vanished. The sound of laughter in public spaces felt like a mockery aimed directly at me. I spiraled down into a quiet darkness, anger simmering, but no clear way forward. Then one night, staring at the ceiling of my small apartment, I decided I wasn't going to let him write my ending. The rising action began with quiet moves. During the day, I worked odd jobs to keep food on the table. At night, I studied market reports, learned advanced coding techniques, and mapped out niche areas CoreLink hadn't touched. I kept my profile low, almost invisible, because I knew Daniel's ego wouldn't bother to check on me if he thought I was done. I sold my old truck to fund a bootstrapped prototype and spent entire weekends cloistered in my home office, the chugging of my desktop fan blending with the scent of burnt coffee. I met with small business owners on neutral ground, diners, parks, community centers, listening to their struggles without revealing my full designs. Gradually, I built alliances with people who valued results over hype, people quietly disillusioned by CoreLink's flashy promises that never fully delivered. My network grew, brick by brick, the way a man builds a fortress in secret. Every detail mattered. The feel of the new software under my fingertips, the streak of blue light from my monitor as I tested features, the rustle of paper as I signed non-disclosure agreements with my early partners. For 18 months, I worked ruthlessly, fueled by the memory of Daniel's smile in that press photo. I learned how to manipulate curiosity, releasing just enough information to keep whispers alive, but never enough for him to know exactly what I was planning. And then, the climax when I struck back happened at an industry conference neither of us could ignore. CoreLink had booked the prime slot. Daniel was to showcase their newest upgrade on stage before a room of investors, analysts, and journalists. I timed my move with surgical precision. Just before his presentation, my PR team, assembled from the allies I'd cultivated, unveiled my own company, Apex Flow, in a coordinated online blitz. Videos, testimonials, and case studies flooded every major social platform. My booth at the conference was directly across from his, but my space wasn't just a table. It was a theater, demonstrating live what Apex Flow could do compared to the half-baked updates Corelink had been selling. People flocked to my side in waves, the buzz growing so loud Daniel's introduction had to compete with cheers from my booth. I locked eyes with him across the room. He paused mid-sentence as he saw investors excusing themselves from his presentation to come see mine. That single moment, his face draining of color, his jaw stiffening, was everything I had been working toward. The whispers about my failure evaporated in minutes, replaced by the undeniable truth playing out in front of everyone. The man who had stolen from me was now watching his empire collapse under the weight of what I had built. My redemption arc started before the conference even ended. By the close of the weekend, Apex Flow had signed contracts with 3 of Corelink's biggest clients. In the months that followed, their revenue cratered, while ours soared. But I didn't just stop at personal victory. I established a foundation to mentor entrepreneurs who'd been blindsided by theft, betrayal, or corporate exploitation. I shared my story openly, not to gloat but to warn, that loyalty without wisdom can be a trap. That sometimes the person closest to you is the one holding the knife. We offered legal guidance, startup coaching, and networking events that turned isolated survivors into thriving business leaders. There was healing in that, watching others turn their betrayal into fuel, the same way I had. I learned that revenge is sharp, but justice served cold is far sharper when it leaves a legacy. These days, my work pulls me into cities I'd never thought I'd see, into meetings where people hang on every word I speak. I sometimes drive past Corelink's shuttered headquarters, the windows dust-covered, the sign fading under harsh sun, and I think about the boys we were, Daniel and I, racing our bikes under dimming streetlights, dreaming out loud, with no idea how the intervening years would twist those dreams. The anger is gone now. All that remains is a calm awareness that I kept my soul intact while proving him wrong. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe to this channel.